I feel like we always end up talking about religion.
It's great.
We
can talk about religion.
Yeah,
sure.
I
really want to know, because I don't think I really asked you about your family and how you've became so musical, and how because you've done a lot of musical great things.
Yeah.
Like you were on that a cappella show that was like American Idol a cappella with Nick Lachey.
Yes.
Which we'll get into later. But the original question stands.
Yeah.
So your family is all musical.
Yeah. So I think I started talking about growing up. So I grew up in a Christian community. And one of the things that I did starting at 12 years old was I was singing on what they would call the worship or the praise team. So I was leading people into the presence of God, and there were probably 1,500 people by the age of 12 or 13, and playing the piano and learning how to play chords and learning how to work with a band at a very, very young age. And my mom sings. She sings beautifully. She sounds like Barbara Streisand. Evergreen, barely seen by two. She's amazing. She sounds so beautiful when she sings.
Don't rain on my parade.
Hello, don't even get started. And my father is father. I never call him that. Dad is an amazing vocalist. Both of my parents used to sing duets in church growing up, and me and my sisters were harmonizing. I remember when I was 4 or 5 years old and my mom teaching me the harmony. That's exaggerating. Maybe I was 6. And my mom teaching me the harmony to go into the chapel and we're gonna get married, because we all sang it at my aunt's wedding. And we were harmonizing at a really young age. And we just grew up singing and challenging each other, specifically me and my middle sister. So I'm the youngest of 3. My middle sister, Emily, always challenging each other and singing who could do better runs, and like listening to a Mariah Carey song and like trying to outrun each other. So still to this day, constantly telling the other one that they're flat. So we've just always...
I can just imagine your household, just little girls just trying to hit those Mariah Carey runs.
My poor dad. All I want is a son. Well, you didn't get a son, you got runs. Sons. You didn't get sons, you got runs. So, I'm going to take a drink. So yeah, and then after high school, my school was very small. I graduated with 28 people. I like to say you were popular by default. So I was very well known for singing, of course, because there was only 28 of us. And it just kind of felt like after high school, I should go to college, and I guess I should major in music, and I guess I should just... So that's what I did. I applied at Belmont, a big music school here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I got a scholarship, and I went and... studied there for 4 years, commercial voice with an emphasis in music business. And then my stomach is growling. Can you hear it?
No. Was that your stomach? I thought it was my chair.
Nope, pretty sure it's my stomach.
Oh my gosh, you haven't probably eaten anything today.
I have. I actually just ate like kale salad, and it's still making very strange noises. Shh. So yeah, then I went to college, and already said that. So. Yeah, and then after that, just started my band, Beta and the Neon Panthers.
Which was an awesome little electro pop group.
Yeah, Beta and the Neon Panthers, I like to say, was an exercise in my ex-Tina phase. My friends would always call it my ex-Tina phase. When Christina Aguilera went through her, like, I'm gonna get done, whatever. So I used to be very conservative before that, like trying to lead my friends to Christ on worship team. And then I was like, after college, I was like, fuck this. Like, I need to figure out what I believe. And I want to be like sexy and do a pop band and like figure out what the world means. So then I changed my name. I went to Beta. My birth name is Brienne. And I changed my name. I forced everyone to call me Beta. And it got my sister, the middle one, who we argue all the time about the other one being flat, and my best friend to be my background dancers. And I wore these big rose-colored glasses because I was like, I've got to brand myself, and people like have to know who I am. And this was just right before Lady Gaga just started to get known. This was like Janelle Monáe was just starting to release things, and they really inspired me, and I wanted to be bigger than life. And and it was in Nashville before the pop community had really taken hold. So it was a very interesting thing trying to break through and be noticed as a pop artist, specifically what I was doing, because it was a little ridiculous with songs like This Beat Is My Bitch.
But I loved it though, because you guys had choreographed dance moves. I mean, it wasn't like
God.
jumping from the ceiling, crazy Cirque du Soleil stuff, but just the three girls just in sync with one another, doing twirls here and there with the music. And I was like, I appreciate this.
Yes,
I appreciate this a lot. And you guys sang great. And I love this. This is great.
Do you know where we got a lot of our dance moves from, Shane? And I think you'll appreciate this.
Who?
Not who. What?
What did you get your dance moves from?
Dance Revolution.
No shit.
I shit you not. That was... So another thing is it was kind of a satire. I was satirizing kind of pop music. So me and my sister, my best friend, thought it was hilarious that we were doing acting like very serious pop divas on stage, very choreographed, and then giggling behind closed doors saying, we got all our moves from Dance Revolution. It was kind of... And that's generally my outlook on life, is that it's all just one big satire, and I just think everything's fairly funny.
That's actually a really great way to look at the world, because I think you find that a lot today. Is a lot of people take things really, really seriously, and they read into headlines on, name your newspaper or name your app that you get your news from. Yeah, and they'll read the headline. Don't even read the entire article. They'll just read the headline, and I'm guilty of it too. I think we all are. We'll get a crazy headline.
Sensationalized.
We'll read half of it or the conclusion.
Right, last paragraph.
And then we'll make our opinion based on that. Just the one thing we read, and then don't go any further. Our opinion is set, and now I got to go on Twitter and then yell at people.
Oh my God.
And just it becomes this. It's weird. So that's a great way to look at the world, to see it's all satire.
It is.
Yeah.
That's not to say that pain isn't real. One thing my mom always used to say was, what did she say? It always hurts until someone gets funny. Instead of, it's the other way around. Yeah. It's always funny until someone gets hurt. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, sorry. Why did I feel like I had to explain
that? But that kind of makes sense.
Well, it always hurts until somebody gets funny, because another philosophy I have is kind of, being melancholy or walking around having a very realistic view of the world, which is that happiness is not something that is constant, but joy is. Yeah. And learning to find joy and empathy in people's stories, and know how to make fun of yourself and other people when the time is right to lighten the mood. I think that's really, really important. And I think that, and I suppose I encompass that in the words, I satire life. But I do that in order to, cope, I think. To cope, or to maybe put yourself outside of the craziness, to be able to, because that's what I try to do. Have an outside perspective. Try my best to have an outside perspective, even though we're all born with our certain biases based on the environment we grew up in, or how our parents raised us, or stuff like that. And I think it's important, and it gets easier when you get older. Yes. When you're young, all you want to do is make the world better. Yes, very That's all you want to do. And you hear something and you want to fight and you want to just change the world somehow. And then you get older and then you start understanding what real world problems is. Like bills. Right. Or having children. Yep. Or name your problem. The IRS. Yeah. Getting something in the mail from the IRS, which happened recently with me. It's okay, IRS. I have paid you. Everything's fine if you're listening. I think and as you were saying all of that, you're right. It allows you, when you satirize things and you satirize yourself, you learn to it's a kind of an out of body perspective, because you can look at yourself and say, how am I acting? What character am I playing into right now? How can I be more self-aware? It's almost an exercise of self-awareness for me. Yeah. If I can be like, I'm acting this way, I'm going to make fun of that immediately because I think it's ridiculous, and let's move on. Anyways, I don't even know how we got. Oh, my pop band was kind of a satire, but also very serious. Yeah. Right.